Well folks, we are live on the Royal Canal, and this is the original Piper's Boreen, and this is actually where the harbour was originally, and where all them people who were heading for Canada, this is where they left from, and a very, very historic spot. And I'm here with my captain, Captain Mick. Oi, Captain. So I'm here with Mick Kenahan, isn't that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Now Mick, tell us, give us your position here on the canal, because we're after going through a lot of history already, but you've done a lot of work here on the canal quietly, yeah, and the group.
Yeah, well, I've been involved with the Royal Canal Amenity Group here in Mullingar, as I have been all along. The Royal Canal Amenity Group was set up in Dublin by a fellow by the name of Dr. Ian Bath. He was a member of the Dublin Branch, and that was in 1974. And they started to clean up the canal, and they went along the canal right all the way to Longford, down to Richmond Harbour, and they set up further work groups. And there was, at one stage, there was 16 different branches of the Royal Canal Amenity Group.
Wow.
And just while we're passing, and you might see it in the distance there, that was Piper's Boreen, which is we just mentioned the people heading off to wherever they were going during the famine and before the famine and after the famine. That's where they were taken on board and brought to Dublin. But back there's a plinth that stones were taken from many places within 40 miles of Mullingar, and it's built into a plinth as a remembrance of the people that went off during the famine years and after the famine years. So that was put there by the Royal Canal Amenity Group. It would have been the Mullingar branch and the Thomastown branch.
Right.
So we're now heading back into Mullingar. Just to go back to where I was with when did they say, 1974.
Yeah.
The group was set up, and they started in Dublin, and they worked away for 36 years to get the canal open, and that was
Were you part of this all that time, yeah?
Sorry? No, I can't claim. I might be old, but I'm not that old. And even if I was, I wouldn't admit it now.
You wouldn't take a privilege.
No.
So since the 70s, the canal has been encouraged to really open, because there was places there was no water, wasn't it?
Correct, yeah. And it was like that right along. Sure, it was in dereliction. You have to go back to the last time anybody traversed both canals, the Grand and the Royal. Prior to that was 1956. After that, you couldn't. While you could very slowly get through the Grand Canal, you couldn't get through the Royal Canal, because it really went into dereliction. And it was these people from 74, Dr. Ian Bath in particular, was the man that formed the group, got in there, got working, got involved with making of gates, lock gates and all of that sort of stuff. And it took 38 years. And in the meantime, the cross-border organisation of Waterways Ireland came into being, and they came in at the latter ends of it and took over the biggies, like the bridges and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, there was hundreds and hundreds of volunteers that dug out this canal for the second time. The amazing thing about it is, it took 38 years to get it reopened, and it only took 28 years to build it. And it was built by hand the first time around.
Wow.
With no mechanical stuff. So yeah,
But the dereliction of the canal, or the non-use of the canal, is because the trains came along, and that was the end of that. The whole thing was faster and quicker, and
the problem was, at the time, nobody had vision to develop it the way it has been developed recently, with the cycle lanes, the walking lanes, and now the boats are beginning to come back on it. Yeah. But we still have great difficulties, and one of the big problems is water. And with
water
in the canal, as everybody knows, it's fed from Lough.
Yeah.
And we're on the summit level of the canal.
Oh, so you're saying that sorry, I just changed my arms around. You're saying that the whole canal is fed by Lough.
No, Lough.
Lough, sorry.
Lough.
This full canal.
Yeah, when we're passing by the feeder, I'll show you. Now, there are other areas as well. We get water out of the Innie, we get the water comes out of the Boyne, comes the River Deal, the River Sound River. There's all different places along the way where they take water.
Yeah.
But originally the main source of the canal was Loch Uil.
Right.
Now, some time back, probably 30 odd years ago, the water was then taken as potable water for the town of Mullingar, and the town has been expanding and bigger and bigger and bigger, so they're taking more and more water, and now there's an agreement, there's only a certain amount of water that can come out of Loch Uil to come into the canal. So if it's a very, very dry summer or dry spring, you end up with the canal maybe 2 foot short of water.
Right.
And the locals around here would have seen it, big sandy covered sides with no water.
Yeah, well, you can see the measure on the wall.
Yeah. Well, it's not just 8 inches; it could be 24 inches. So. But that's.
Now we're coming down here to Dublin Bridge, and there's a lot of work done on this bridge over the years, and it was closed in for a little while.
Yes.
And you can see there now there's a gap. But would that be tight enough now for getting a boat through, or some of the boats that are in the harbour, would they make it through that?
Yeah, no, there's no problem at all. I've had Grand Canal boats through that bridge, and you can get through it. Like the widest boat that's going to be on the system, which is a chap, 4 East in the name of it, and this chap by the name of Joe Tracy, he gets through it, and he keeps saying, well, you spread at your old age, and he has a boat that's 128 years old.
And what a gentleman Joe Tracy is.
Oh,
We spoke to him.
Joe, yeah.
We met him in Athlone, and it's like when you meet Joe, you know that Joe is a walking legend and a gentleman from Dublin. Yeah.
But anyway, Joe can get a boat through there. I've had several boats. The one out in Thomastown, I was the skipper on that for the official opening in 2010 of the canal. So there's no problem. It's just you line your boat up and go through it slowly, and if you're wrong, you're making a mistake slowly, so it's easier to correct it.
What's that in the right there? Is that
No, that's a work boat belonging to Waterways Ireland.
All right.
Yeah, they carry out works.
I thought it was Huckleberry Finn's boat.
You say that again?
That was Huckleberry Finn's boat.
Well, they have some weird looking boats, but they all have a purpose, but they're all necessary to keep the canal in trim.
During coming up to the Fleadh, now the Fleadh has gone 2 days, and hopefully it's going to be back at the same time next year, but the boys were cleaning out the canal, and they were dredging it and pulling it and dragging it, and they're doing the whole kit and caboodle on it.
Yeah.
How's my hair? Is my hair okay?
No, it's not down. It's sweating.
That's what he looks like. We see him in Crying Line, folks.
Yeah, that's it. I had to tell you that.
Now here we go, Houston. This is the job. So you've lined her up, Mick, and she's on the way through.
She's on the way through. This boat's only 20 foot long. I think it's only about 7 foot wide, so it's no big deal. So
Right.
I have somewhere in the region of close to 3 foot either side of me.
Right.
Or maybe a little less. But,
Beautiful.
The Grand Canal barge will go through here, and as I said, Joe's would be about the widest on the system.
Right.
And he gets through it without even scraping it. Might be only a quarter of an inch on the side, but that paint he has is very precious on his boat. So.
Oh, really? So looking after a barge now, would you have to paint it once a year, twice a year?
No. 6 or 7 years could go by. It depends on like everything else. How proud you are. I know some people are out painting their boats every day of the week, but no, Joe's boat now would it'll be blacked on the bottom, be anti-fouled. The boat would have to be taken out to do that. But
the beauty of that as well is you can do it here in the harbour of Mullingar. Like there's a dry.
We have the dry dock, and that's a godsend here. The gas thing about it is like the next dry dock is down in Richmond Harbour, and the next one is in Dublin, which is on the Grand Canal side. But they're called graving docks up there because they used to build boats and wooden boats that went to sea and everything in it. But they're not open at all. So going down the Grand, the next place is in a Toy.
Right.
and there was one in Salins, and our Kildare branch is trying to have a go to see if they can get that reopened. And that's what we do as an organisation. That's when I say it's the Inland Waterways Association of Ireland.
Right, that's a
we refer to it as. So it's Inland Waterways Association of Ireland, as against the people who are responsible for the canal as Waterways Ireland.
Ah, right, yeah.
So people get confused sometimes.
No, it's not that you're an association of making thousands here on the canal. I mean, most people are retired, and some people actually are still working that went to work today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
This is all voluntary now.
Anything we do is voluntary.
This is the love.
Yeah, it's a charitable organisation, and that's why it is a charitable organisation, because funds. We have various projects going on all over the country. Mm-hmm. We had the Royal Canal for a long period of time. We have had several projects in Dublin, and one at the moment that was started in Dublin back in 2002. Which is the Boyne Canal, and most people are not even aware there's a canal that runs from Drogheda to Navan.
I didn't know that either.
19 miles with 19 locks.
You're joking me.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit like the Barrow. It goes in and out of the river.
Ah.
So that's how they got around. Like the Barrow. You go down the Barrow, you're on the river for quite a bit of time, but you're pulled in and out where the locks are. You're probably going around very shallow parts of it. Or maybe very rocky places, or maybe there's weirs. So they just go around them, and you go into a cut, and there's a lock gate at the other end, and away you go.
A lot of people are on the canal, but they've all got different type of boats. Like some are after coming up the Shannon, and you'd be surprised to look at the boats because they're a little bit of a cruiser type boats.
Well, there is. There's been some fairly big cruisers there, like 42 footers, and that's they're fairly expensive and precious to the people that own them. They spent all their lives saving for them and paying for them and all the rest. Yeah. And they come up the canal, and the canal can be very, very hard on boats. The barges probably have a better time because their water draft would be only around the 2 foot to 2 foot 2.
Right.
Whereas some of these boats could go out to 3 foot 6, 3 foot 7. Like in my case, mine is it's 0.8 of a metre.
Right.
And but it should be around close enough to 1 metre deep, which is 39 inches, which is 3. Yeah. But what I did with mine was I took the ballast out the back of the boat, and I have a tank. For the canal, it gives me an extra 4 to 6 inches that I don't have a problem with. And when I need the ballast, maybe on the lakes or on the Shannon, I just fill the tank up with water again, and my ballast comes back in. And then when I come back on the canals, I pump the water back out again, and I get me 6 inches back again.
Jeez, you're a legend. You're a fairly adaptable sort of character on the river.
Listen, I didn't think up a lot of these things. I learned from other people. There's been many people that come before me with probably greater knowledge than I have. But no, like there's all sorts of things. I listen a lot, and I try to learn all the time. And
tell me, your love of all this, like where does it come from? I mean, did you live beside the canal? Yeah,
basically, I blame my mother for it. Now she's gone a good few years now, but my mother came from Wexford. I was actually born in Wexford, and we ended up living in Ballyfermot, which was fairly close to the Grand Canal. And I discovered it when I was about 8 years of age, or maybe 9. I can't remember exactly. But when my mother found out that I was going to the canal, she went berserk, because the canal to her was alien. It was dangerous. There's all sorts of things happened, and the devil lives over there, and I was forbid to go near the canal. But the little whore that I was, I disobeyed my mother for years and years and years. I got away with it by saying I was going fishing, and I never fished in my life. And, she just assumed I was going to a stream or something, not to the canal. That's how we got away with going to the canal. But just to finish that story, my mother was in hospital when she was about 80 or thereabouts, and 82 I think. And I went in to see her, but the Irish Times supplement had did an article on me back in 2010, and she had seen it and she was wanting to know, because nobody in my family is involved in boating. My father was a soldier. I've been involved in the military all my life as well. Yeah. But anyway, she was showing the patients in the bed. This is my son. I'm looking at him in the paper, and then after a while we had a little chat, a little cry. And she says, "How did you get involved in all of this?" And I said, "Mother, you're the cause of it." And she's looking at me. So I related the thing which she had forgotten, of course, you know. Yeah. And she says, "Come here, son." She gave me a slap in the mouth. And she says, "That's for telling me lies all these years." So, anyway, I blame my mother for it. I blame my mother for it.
And ever since then, so you just literally got the bug and enjoyed. So did you. Hello, folks.
Hello,
how you doing?
How you doing?
It's his first time seeing a boat.
He doesn't know what it is.
Oh, right. When he goes into the harbour, there's another heap of them in there.
No, he's actually been drowning out all this.
So, sorry, you asked me a question.
Oh, sure, we're just having the crack, as I say, and I mean, it's beautiful to be here on the canal, and to have Mick as well is even better to just, oh yeah, the one question I want to ask you, Mick, we're after passing an area there where the people were sitting and talking about their dog, but that's across, that's...
There's a river there.
There's a river there, the Brusna.
The Brusna, yeah.
And there's another story there. There's the lad that takes loads of photographs around Mullingar, and he's known as Moses. And is he there? No, he lives over there. And they said that he came down the river in a basket, you know. Okay. Because he lives right beside the Brusna. Okay. But he has a Facebook page. It's called I think it's Angling and Shooting. Midland Angling and Shooting, and he's he loves the water here in Mullingar, loves being out, loves hunting and shooting and bringing people out as well. He'll do ghillie as well, so he knows exactly where all the fish are.
Oh, very good.
So not many people know that, but big shout out to you, Moses, because we're just passing your house here, and we're heading up the canal now at this time, and we're right by the back of Cusick Park, and that's where all the football. Am I allowed to stand up in this, Captain?
Yeah, go ahead to the front if you want. You can stand up in the height there if you want.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, this is beautiful.
Well, you can stand up there, up on the...
Yeah. I've got my belt on anyway. I mean, keep an eye on the fish. And as you can see, folks, the cathedral in the distance. Cusick Park there with Dunstore's logo on it, and you can see the swallows just picking off the water here as well. Down onto the fields there, that's into Shamrock's GAA, and in the distance then is where all the campers were staying during the Flak Yule. So if you're around, folks, and there's still some boats in the harbour, and you can check them out. From Mullingar, in Mullingar. So Captain Mick, I'm going to go back to Captain Mick because he's a great chatter. And I hope you're enjoying the post now, folks. And if anyone has a boat out there and you want to know a little more information, this is the man to chat to. I'll give you his number. He won't answer the phone, but I'll give you his number.
You can write me a note or a query on a €50 note. And if it's bigger than that, you get a prompt response.
You get a like.
Yeah.
So we're coming up now to the supply, known as a great place for a lot of people learn to swim in the supply. This is a lot of people now will be watching in, like Jim Breen will be looking in there from Australia, and he probably learned to swim in the supply. A lot of people in Mullingar, that's where the supply was, and probably at that time it was very full. Yeah, we're going back now 40 or 50 years. As well as that, it's a great place for a good walk, and some couples come down here for a little bit of a snuggle as well, you know. So, and then people out walking their dogs, and then you know where the harbour was, or harbour is, Mick?
Yes.
On the left hand side is a place called Paradise.
That's correct, yeah.
And that was a great place in its day for going, I'll see you in Paradise.
Well, I heard the story the other day, but it's not the same story you heard about 20 years ago. it was some nun in the Loretta College or the convent, and she died. And the headmistress, or not the headmistress, whatever you call them in the convent, the head one, she says she's going to paradise through paradise. But the first story I heard about paradise wasn't that type of paradise. You got somebody in there, you were in paradise.
Well, the other thing as well is that there was a bridge across there.
Yes.
And that's where the nuns used to go to. They used that bridge. Now, I never remember the bridge being in use. But maybe some of our people who are watching in now on the post that are around from Mullingar will be able to give us a bit of a synopsis on the bridge. And it was a white bridge. And
That's right, yeah.
do you remember seeing it anyway?
I don't really. I spent quite a lot of the time towards the Dublin end in the beginning, in the 80s and that.
How's it going?
Working up that end of it.
There's
And,
people using the facility.
And it wasn't until it was the late 80s when I started to come more into Mullingar and get involved with the local group here, and then moved out through Kenahan and Ballinacurry after that, you know.
Yeah.
And then in 2010, then the canal was reopened officially.
2010.
So, yeah, just a little story. The Inland Waterways Association of Ireland was formed because of an Englishman by the name of Thomas Rolt, who in 1947 traversed both the Grand and the Royal, and up to Shannon, and even went up to Feeder and went into Loughoul and went across to the island, Church Island, and the whole lot. And it's all recorded in a book which was released or published in 1949.
Go away.
And it was called the Green and Silver, and that's the emblem we have on our flag and on our t-shirts. You can see it there on my life belt.
Very good.
It says the Green and Silver on it there. But the Dublin branch of the Inland Waterways decided when this canal was going to... Oh, sorry, just to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
The next time, that was in 1947. In 49, the book was released. That's the feeder there now. What we refer to as the feeder. I think they call it the supply down here.
That's right.
But anyway, in 1949 the book was released, and it inspired some people and some very famous people to form the Inland Waterways Association in 1954.
Right.
And that's how old our organisation is, and has been fighting for all these canals and waterways and everything, and rivers and Shannon and everywhere else, to keep them open and to keep them navigable.
What do you like about the canal, Mick?
Well, just let me
Somewhere to hide.
Well, I just finished this
Sorry,
little
I beg your
story,
pardon.
which is important.
Yeah.
Well, it's important to me, but whether it is, well, it is.
Go on.
I'm going to boast a little bit here.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, but again, then in 1956, a lady by the name of Ruth Delaney and her husband and another couple, they decided that they were going to do the Green and Silver, and they did it in 1956, and they were the last couple, or their boat was the last boat to do the Green and Silver. And then in 2010, when this was officially open, this boat that you're sitting in now is called the Dublin. It's out of the Dublin branch of the Inland Waterways. I brought it down from Dublin through here, but I was also the skipper on the VIP boat. But I got it to Richmond Harbour, and the canal was opened on the 30th of October 2010, and the following morning, on the 1st of November, I was out the Camlin River, down the Shannon, all the way down to Shannon Harbour, into Shannon Harbour and back up to Dublin. And so I was the first person to do, after 1956,
Wow. In
to
2010.
do the Green and Silver, which took in the three areas, the Shannon, the Grand and the Royal. And I have the plaque on my boat, and the certificate is at home. So that's the history of that. Since then, several hundred boats have actually done it. The Dublin branch sponsors the whole thing. If you register, we give you a Virgie, which is those triangular flags that you see on boats.
Yeah.
And they give them a certificate with all the crew that did it, that was on the boat, and also a green and silver plaque.
Beautiful.
Just to celebrate the fact that we've somewhere in the region of 300 people or thereabouts at the moment that have registered to do it. Now, I know some of these people have done it 10 and 15 times already since it opened in 2010.
Nope.
Now, the question you asked me earlier, if you want me to have, what do I find?
Yeah, the canal. What is your thing about the canal?
Well, it's the slowness of it, and the like the speed limit is 4 miles an hour, or 5 to 6 kilometers, and 5 kilometers. But you're going very slow. It's a walking pace. You get to talk to all the people along the way, and there's tranquility everywhere along it. You can stop wherever you want, be it in a town or out in the wilderness, and it's absolutely wonderful, particularly on evenings like this.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
And that's what attracts me to the whole thing. And as I said earlier, my stint as a young fella on the Grand drew me back to the canal when I got a bit older.
Now, just a little bit there, we won't forget about this piece here, because we're at that lock, and that's a dry. It's called a dry.
It's called a dry dock, or
dry dock.
Dry dock. Yeah.
And
what actually happens is you open the gates there. Well, first of all, you fill the lock up of water. You open the gates. You drive your boat in. You close the gates. You close all the sluices, and then the one at the back. You open that sluice and it drains the water down, and your boat ends up sitting on plinths on the bottom, and you can carry out all sorts of repairs to it while it's in there.
And Kevin had his boat in there
he did
last week, and
yeah.
done a great job, and we were there to actually see it. And Keith Duncan actually had some footage as well. If anyone's looking for footage of, he had a drone up.
That's right. Yeah.
And so now we're coming into the harbour here, which is another beautiful spin, and this is probably the original piece of work. This bridge, my God, is still here, and it's still. There was a hump on this bridge at one stage, and you're driving the car.
It's been improved for modern traffic.
Yeah.
And we're coming in now, and there's only probably 1/3 of the boats left that were here last week. We had 33 boats in for flow to the flat, and it was a great success. And with all the hard work, we have to say, of Waterways Ireland, their water patrollers, and all the people helped us in, we wouldn't have been able to get in without them. And the other saving grace is we had a wet spring, and it gave us plenty of water for the canals.
Beautiful boats, and it's beautiful just to be here and be in the water along with them as we pass by. That's your boat there.
That's the Triangles is the name of my boat.
The Triangles.
Triangles.
Oh, sorry.
It confuses people.
The Triangles.
Everybody says the Three Angels.
All right.
But it's actually Irish for Three Angels. Three angles. But I spelled the tree the English way, just to confuse everybody.
Ah, good man.
That's Kevin's boat there.
Yeah, that's the one that was in the topic there during the week. Yeah.
That's right. That's Ramblin' Home.
Wow.
That's
it's a beautiful boat. Beautiful boat, yeah. Ramblin' Home.
And these are more of the boats that were in for the system. How are you? That boat there is Erin. She's a resident in, or artist in residence. She's a writer.
Ah.
And we had a couple of photographic exhibitions going on here as well.
Oh, class.
And we had them. We remember the tents that were the marquees.
That's right, yeah.
We had, yeah.
Beautiful pictures.
Flossie Fluke there is out of Hilladown.
Ah, right, yeah, he's turned ready for the road anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah. And this here is the boat on the left hand, Paul. See it, Paul here?
Yeah.
Paul Kenny. That's he is the ex. What would you call him? The Commodore of the geez. I'm gonna have to cut that out.
Yeah. Oh no, it's all 100%. I mean, we're have been talking for nearly half an hour.
The yacht club in Lockwood.
All right.
Now this yellow boat that you see here, it's called the Edmund G.
Right.
And it is still belong to the Royal Canal Amenity Group Mullingar section that they're still in existence, and it's no lifeboat, and it was supposed to be for giving trips and things like that, but it was called after the lad that lived out near the Downs, Edmund G. I forgot his surname.
Ah, right, I think
They
it's on
called
the
it
boat
Edmund
anyway.
G after him,
As you can see, some people are still here celebrating the flat and the right way to go. So we're going to head up another bit, folks, but look, we're going to take a little break for now, and we're at the back of St Mary's, or Coláiste Mhuire. This is where my school was. Now, all that area there was full of trees at one stage, but now it's a playground. And we're heading up towards the next bridge, which has the railway running across it. Another great courting spot, I believe, as well, some people told me. So all our people are looking in. Will we continue on, because Mick is a mountain of information here. All you have to do is strike him up and off he goes again. But there's the harbour in the background, and I definitely feel like Huckleberry Finn, but he was on the river, we are on a canal. It's called the Royal Canal. And if you want us to continue, just give us the thumbs up and send us a message and just say continue on. Look at that, just look at the beauty of that. Now, one of the lads is going to head on to Kenahan, and there's going to be a big movement of people then tomorrow. Look at the beautiful flowers inside of our canal. It's just, and the light is so, this light is so gorgeous.
Yeah, the dappled light through the trees.
That's it. What do you call it?
Dappled.
Dappled light. Good man, Mick.
That's another attraction that attracts me.
Yeah.
You have a deep sinking just outside Mullingar. It's called the deep sinking.
Oh, whereabouts?
It's just where we went out as far as Piper's Borean.
Yeah.
Probably maybe a mile and a half there. It was cut through solid rock, so you're down 20 feet below the level of where the horses used to pull along the towpath. But in Dublin, there's just outside Blanchardstown, there's another deep sinking, and that is much deeper, it's about 30 feet, and that was cut through solid rock. There's another long story attached to that, but I'll save that for another day.
Right. That is magnificent.
Sorry?
That's a magnificent spot, because it's got its own ecosystem nearly down there.
It has absolutely
And
everything.
We've heard
And
great
it's
stories.
also a sad place, like 16 women were drowned there way back when I can't remember the date now, but they drowned during a bad stormy night, and unfortunately, as usual, drink taken by certain crew members and all that sort of stuff.
And that was really the time that the barges were in full
swing, yeah.
Ah, right.
And they were the flyboats at the time. The travel time from Longford to Blanchardstown, Mullingar, was 13 hours then. So,
as you can see just over Mick's head, that's where the train comes in and out, heading for Longford or heading back from Longford back into Mullingar.
Jesus, when I got me hair cut.
Yeah, you were lucky, weren't you? You knew we were coming. Now look at this, folks. Where would you get it? I feel like we're on, well, I was going to say the Titanic, but no, that'll be a wrong one.
Pick some other one.
My life will go on.
You can get up on the...
We get up in the height and we'll finish it off here.
Up and throw your arms out.
Right, folks, look at this. Isn't this so beautiful? And the light coming through the trees and cruising up the canal around the town of Mullingar. And then in the big distance then you can see the other bridges, and then So once again, folks, thanks for looking in. My name is Ray Dolan from Mullingar, in Mullingar, promoting what's good and great about our town, our people, our business and our canals. And just thank you for looking in, and we'll just turn our cameras back here. Look at that.
That's why I do that. I don't charge anybody anything for any of this stuff. I could if I wanted to make money.
Hello. Oh, it's yourself. How's it going? Woohoo! You can see a bottle made it in.
No, there's lots and lots of things like this. give other people ideas.
And that's the Kerry Bridge. And then the other bridge is up here and it's called the Green Bridge. There's nothing green about it at all, but there's a green off to the right hand side up here. And there's some great work done by Mullingar Tidy Towns. Mullingar Tidy Towns have done a lot of work as well in the canal and done a lot of cleaning out of this canal as well. So thanks for being on board, guys, and we'll have a quick gander. I know we're going on a bit today, but I think you're all enjoying it. A lot of messages. Okay. Now, Frank Gillespie rowed the boat. How are you, Frank? Tony Kelly, buses or boats or planes? Riddle your man. Come on, Tony. It was his son Adam that was on the boat, and yes, Lakeland Kayaks are watching in. Hello guys, how's it going? And Lakeland Kayaks are a new shop that's in Mullingar, not too far from the harbour, and we were down there not too long ago as well. And we have Sally Taylor is looking in there as well, and just everyone is taking in the beauty of our canal. Okay, we keep looking in here and just checking. Irene Gannon, good interview and good steering. That is nice. Well, Mick is doing all the steering. And Mary Glavin is looking in there from Skibbereen. And as well as that, Sean Nolan says, nice day for it. It's a beautiful evening for it. And Danny is there as well. Hello to you. Thanks a lot, Irene. Yes, once again, aren't you lucky ducks in the canal? We are blessed. We are blessed, and bless the people will treat us to a trip down the canal. And that's Mick Kenahan who's driving. What a way to spend the evening. Definitely, that's Christina and Kay. Hello to you. So once again, folks, from Mullingar, in Mullingar, the Royal Canal. Everyone use it, lads running, lads walking. Hey! Bye for now.